Hey guys, this looks like a fun one. We're given a square with 3 triangles inside of it, and we know the areas of each of the triangles. We're also given that this part is a rectangle. This is a puzzle by Thiago Dorado. If you want to try it on your own, pause it right now, because I'm going to solve it in 3, 2, 1. First, let's summarize what we know, and let's start with this triangle. Since we're given that this is a rectangle, that means this is a right triangle. Let's label the base of the triangle X and the height of the triangle Y. And now we can write a formula for this triangle. It's 1/2 of base times height equals the area. Or in other words, 1/2 xy equals 36. This looks important. Let's put a box around it. And let's bring back the whole square. Now, since this is x, that means this is also x. And since this is y, that means this is also y. Does that make sense why? It's because this is a rectangle. And now we can focus on another triangle. Let's label this Z, and we can focus on this yellow triangle with an area of 20. And let's rotate it and copy it down here. So you can think of the base of the triangle as y and the height of the triangle as z. So the formula for this is going to be 1/2 of the base of y times the height of z equals 20. And this also looks important. Let's put a box around it. Next, we can focus on this green triangle. Let's label this dubs, and we're ready to write the formula for this triangle. It'll be 1/2 of the base of x times the height of dubs is equal to 27. This also looks important. Let's put a box around it and move everything down here. Now we have formulas for all 3 given triangles. I don't think we need the boxes anymore. And there's one more thing that we know. Since this is a square, all the sides are going to be congruent, so we know that z plus x is equal to w plus y. Does that make sense why? And now we have 4 equations and 4 variables. We should be able to solve for everything. We can clean all these up a little bit by multiplying both sides of each equation by 2. On the left-hand side, the 2's and the 1/2's are going to cancel each other out. And on the right-hand side, we have 54, 40, and 72. So these equations summarize everything we were given. Let's smush it all down here and let's write an equation for what we're trying to solve. Well, the area of a square is equal to the side length squared. So we can choose either of the sides. Let's do z plus x squared. This is what we're trying to solve. Let's put a box around it. Let's move this down here and figure out what we're going to do. So first thing I'm noticing down here, we have a wx and an xy. So if we multiply this side by x, we'll know these 2 values. I'll show you what I mean. Let's copy this up here, give ourselves some room, and multiply both sides by x. On the right-hand side, this x will distribute to each of these, giving us xw plus xy. And those are the values that we know. So in the place of this xw, we can plug in 54, and then we can add to that the xy, which is 72. 54 plus 72 is equal to 126. And then we can copy down the left-hand side. We now have x times z plus x equals 126. Let's clean things up a little bit and move this down here. And I'm noticing that we have a yz and an xy. So if we multiply this side by y, we can use these 2 values. So let's do that really quick. This y is going to distribute to each of these, giving us yz plus xy. In the place of the yz, we can plug in 40. And then we can add to that the xy, which is 72. And 40 plus 72 is equal to 112. We can copy down the left-hand side, and now we know that y times the quantity z plus x is equal to 112. Let's clean up all this, and we can compare these 2 equations. Each of these contains a z plus x. Well, down here, we need z plus x squared. So if we multiply these 2 together, we'll get our z plus x squared. And then to finish this up, we also have to do the y times the x, which will give us xy, and the 112 times 126, which is 14,112. Next, in the place of this xy, we can plug in 72. And then after we divide both sides by 72, we're going to end up with z plus x squared is equal to 196. And this is what we needed. Let's break this out of the box. And since the area is equal to z plus x squared, in the place of this z plus x squared, we can plug in area. And that is the answer to our question. Let's give it a label of square units and put a box around it. In this given diagram, the area of the square is 196 square units. How exciting. This did turn out to be a fun one. I really enjoyed doing the manipulations to solve for this algebra. After going through all this work and then to have it turn out that exactly z plus x squared was the thing that we solved for was so fun. If you want to fine tune your skills so you can do stuff like this, Brilliant has you covered. I love using Brilliant to learn topics I normally wouldn't. It makes it easy and fun to build a solid foundation of topics I'm not familiar with, and I probably never would be. In my day-to-day life, for example, I would never learn about something like circuits. But they are fascinating, and Brilliant has a fun and interactive course going over them. Here it is right here. You can tell the lessons are put together by experts. They have an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, and professionals. This is content that anybody aged 10 to 110 could enjoy. It's way better than simply watching a video. You actually interact with the concepts and you choose the pace. And if you get stuck, they have hints and explanations just one click away. To try Brilliant for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/andymath, scan the QR code on the screen, or click on the link in the description. With this link, you can get 20% off an annual premium plan. That'll give you unlimited daily access to everything Brilliant has to offer. How exciting.